Hello, hello, hello. Oh, wait a minute. Alright, that should be better. Hello, hello Tikare, how you doing? Hope you're having a great start into the week. I am actually quite busy today. Or I was quite busy today. So didn't really get to prepare anything. Good, finish my cardio now. Perfect. Then you can completely enjoy the finale of Ratchet Clank, the first game. Completely and sitting with snacks and a good drink. I see. So, right. I found a nice little option for the PNG animation thingy I use. The Fugu, how's it called? The Fugitech. The reactive by Fugitech image, how would you say, the animation has this option to dim the PNG, and I disabled it for now to see if it improves how the PNG looks like, basically. And I think it improves it quite good, since my talking animation is also quite obvious. I think because it gives you a warning, sitting dim to never can result in viewers being unable to tell when someone is speaking. But I think there is, at least for the solo stream, no problem. Maybe there is also the option of if matches speaking image, which it shouldn't. You know what? I'm just gonna try it out. I think it takes it immediately. And yeah, I guess this should work if I put always. Okay, so right, this is the old version, and I think in the old version you can barely tell that my left eye, right from viewer perspective, my left eye is a little bluish. And yeah, if I turn on the if matches speaking image, then this mode happens to work like this perfectly. And you can actually kind of tell now that my eye has a blue iris with a purple outside, which technically isn't even what the image is in itself, because the way this eye is structured now in this lower resolution looks a lot different than what it actually is in the SVG file. Like, if you're unfamiliar with SVG files, it's basically you have a collection of shapes. It's energy saving mode, yeah. It's basically if I start talking, the eye starts to turn green, and if I don't talk, it's like a blue, which technically, well, it's I didn't want it to be red in any case, basically, so I just went with green and blue, which makes a lot of sense, kind of. I have yet to think up the reason why exactly it changes the color, because I just wanted to make it change color, because the other eye is obviously this deep black, basically, where there's no iris. I don't know. Wait, I want to see something. I want to look something up, because I don't actually know how bear eyes look, but bear eyes seem to be, in general, just brown eyes. So technically, if you want to go with what it should look like, my right eye, is if you want to go lore-wise, my right eye isn't quite 100% lore compliant. However, one could argue that it's because of the lighting that you can't see the brown. Because if you look up images of bears, the eyes usually also just look like black voids. Only in close-ups you can kind of see that they are brown. So I have just now decided to take the creative liberty and say my right eye is brown, you just can't really see it because of the lighting. So yeah, and the other eye, the left eye, is basically a interface for the other half of assembly, because I haven't brought that up for quite a long time, but if you type in lore, you have this little Google document where my lore is manifested. Looks brown to you? Yeah, perfect. That's exactly what it is. But yeah, if you want to go into the lore, basically these are the parts of the bear part of assembly, because I don't think I have gone into lore too deep in my introduction, so I'll just talk a little bit about the lore I have thought up. And basically, in the story, I get, like, the story begins with my Ursa Major part, which is basically at the peak of the Industrial Revolution around about 1900. No specific date, just the knowledge that it's about 1900s. And basically the celestial, like, gods decided that humanity needs to chill out with the pollution and send the celestial star constellations to Earth. So the constellations have been reincarnated basically as their respective parts. So one half of assembly is Ursa Major, the big bear, and the other part from the story, spoiler warning if you want to read that, but basically the other part is a robot, an android, with an AI inside. So the parts of assembly that you see that are bear parts are from Ursa Major, and everything else is an android. So most of the stuff you see on screen is actually the android kind of shared control with Ursa Major and the AI part, which is called Aiden. That's cool lore. Yeah, I basically sat down. I had like the general concept, And I just sat down and wrote the pages. It's like 1.5 pages. And I just sat down with the core concept, put the core concept on paper, basically, and then just flesh it out. I didn't put too, like the deep thought I put into it was basically from the start, and everything else I just kind of worked out. And the core elements were like, okay, I want to be a bear. Why am I a bear, and why is that cool? So I took the Ursa Major. I wanted like a nice little symbolism of higher power that I mixed with technology. So the technology part kind of came from an early idea. I don't think I have talked about how I got to VTubing in general either, because I one day, like around December, a little bit earlier, I heard the first time of Neurosummer, which I thought was a pretty neat VTuber, because I think most people are familiar with Neurosummer, but just the concept of an AI being able to mimic a streamer in such a way that it kind of feels real most of the time was just at the time mind-blowing to me. And yeah, I kinda got hooked, because after all, the Swarm has a really cool vibe. And yeah, my VTube story started just from the December, from the marathon, from the subathon. Mostly because I was just able to keep the stream open, which usually before that I just never really watched Twitch streams, because for me it was kind of annoying to have notifications on and then go to the emails and open the stream, because I didn't really have any Twitch like experience. And I was kind of annoyed that live streams just happened to be around the times I was working anyways. So most of the time I just, like, before Neurosummer, I didn't even bother to open Twitch at all, ever. I did have a Twitch account for a long time, because I tried when I must have been around when I was 15 or something. People from YouTube, the Let's Play channels that I watched, started to stream on Twitch, and they stopped doing the Let's Play stuff, which was kind of the only reason I watched them, the Let's Plays. So I tried to watch their streams, but I never knew when they were streaming, or because I was 15 years old, they were streaming at the time where I was at school. And at school, I can't use my phone. And yeah, in general, they were just not watchable for me. So I had the account, tried to watch them, failed, and then never really interacted with Twitch again until now. I knew about VTubers before, but I started watching them regularly last July. Before that, I watched streamers only. I basically never watched like real streamers except a friend. When he told me he started streaming, I watched him when he told me that he streamed. Other than that, I never really watched any real streamers. I do have some real streamers, or, well, real is not the right word. I know that people also kind of cringe at the term flash viewer, so that's not the right word either. I'd say real live streamers, basically. So, yeah, the real live streamers I never really caught any streams of. Because those I tried to watch were streaming at times where I couldn't attend the streams, and other streamers just didn't really. I never really got into those types of streams. And basically, December last year, I joined the Swarm in the Sabaton, and I really enjoyed my time there, especially because basically I'm a European, so when Neuro had her downtime for the night, I was sleeping as well and enjoying the WOT of the that was playing in the background. And when I started my workday, I just was already there. Like it was that easy at that point. And after the Sabaton, I think Battle raided Mini, and Mini raided into Kirana, I think. And Kirana was doing a Sabathon too. So I was basically from one Sabathon to the next Sabathon. Like that was basically the ideal hook for me, because apparently smaller VTubers did those Sabathons as well, and I really enjoyed just in general the energy and vibe of VTubing. So yeah, I was hanging out at Kirana from then on out, and basically I think sometime like it must have been from Kirana, because from Kirana I basically started to regularly watch VTubers and to tune in to all the streams basically. So I started to actually properly watch VTube streams, or streams in general, Twitch in general. I actually started to properly watch them because I started watching 2 subathons and wanted to see more, because I really enjoyed the content. And yeah, from then on out, like, I knew that there was this the Vettel harem circle. So I got into the all of Vettel's friends. I started following them, and sometimes I even, because I was just hanging out, I got subscriptions to their channels. So sometimes I was just, because they are, lots of them are Americans, so you were raided into them and they raided someone else, and sometimes you get subscriptions from someone just handing out subscriptions. So some of them I followed too, where I suddenly got subscriptions from, and others were actual raids. Like I think Sora, I think Kirana raided into Sora, and because of Sora, I started to basically think of, yeah, actually, you don't need to have a high energy, like screaming, like all power, no Like, you could have a chill stream, which I didn't really think about before. And that's basically the reason, because of the chill atmosphere of Saura's stream, is basically the reason why I started streaming. Like, I had the idea of streaming myself before, when I was in high school, doing my Abitur. But I did never really have the time. And I remembered that, like, the VTube stuff, first of all, I can't draw, so I didn't think about drawing myself. And getting a VTube model, a quick research showed me that I will not be getting a VTube model nor the rigging on pocket money. That's really interesting how it got all got you to here. Yeah, I'm really glad that it happened like it happened, because I got to know a lot of cool people like you, and Charme, Shesu, Aura, Koro, and everyone that is kind of within this bubble. Like, if you check out my recommendations, there's also Robin and Richter. By the way, shoutouts to Richter, who is currently going through some stuff privately, and would probably, once he's getting online again, I think Richter is gonna stream tomorrow, and he's going to stream 5 days a week from now on, I think. Unrecognized command? Oh, right. It needs to be properly this one. Yeah, so Richter is a really cool guy. Kind of been going through a little bit. If you saw the Twitter post and the Blue Sky post, he will be, however, available for more streams. So maybe if you have time, he is in the more Philippine time zone. I think he was from the Philippines, if I remember correctly. And he's like streaming around noon for us in Europe. So yeah, he will be a full-time streamer from now on. He'll try his luck. And I wish him all the best. And ich drücke ihm die Daumen, as a German says. So yeah, and of course all the other cool people, like who did I not mention yet? Razor YSSC 2, if anyone is interested. And I think there were also in my recommendations. I gotta open them now. I would obviously put more people into my recommendations, but somewhere needs to be there's somewhere one needs to stop to recommend people, because most people, if at all, are gonna check out the first one you recommend usually. So yeah, that's somewhere you gotta just stop to try. But yeah, though they are wonderful people, I love them very much. They're great, and they do their best, and I will try to do my best too. So I hope everything works out. But yeah, that's basically the way how I got here. And what was this from? Oh, right, because I was right, there is this one thing why my character is half bear, half AI, like a cyborg bear or cyber, because The AI part was basically because I wanted to see, basically, if I could build my own Neurosummer. And technically that project still stands, but as projects go, you start them and then you don't have time for them because something else more urgent appears. And then you kind of forget about them. But I don't forget about these projects. I just don't know when to work on them because there is not really any bigger time frame where I can work on them. So technically there is still Project Aiden, which is basically the idea of a AI co-host. I thought about, okay, Neurosummer is gonna be Neurosummer. Neurosummer is not gonna be touched. I even if I was able to build another AI VTuber, there is no reason for people to tune into my AI VTuber, and it would also not add any content to the general palette of Twitch. Like, there's no reason to try to like challenge Neurosummer. There is not really any reason to do that. But if I had an AI co-host, that would be a little different because it would be me and an AI that kind of develops side by side with me, where I would be able to add just my personality into the AI, and at some point have an AI that can like help springboard me with jokes and stuff. Like, I, as a solo streamer, I am not really able to do something like a let's go for the example of a knock knock joke. There is this really funny, in my opinion, knock knock joke where I say, hey, do you know my favorite knock knock joke? And the other person goes, no, please tell me. And I would go, okay, but you have to start. And they will go, knock knock. And I say, who's there? And then as they realize what the joke is about, I have to hold back my laughter. That does not really work in a solo setting. So yeah, that would be the application of Aiden in this moment. Good one, yeah. I really enjoy it, but it really shows that there are some things you just cannot really do alone in a diegetic way. So the only opportunity to do those things is if you explain them, and then they are not really that funny anymore. Like, the joke would hit a lot better if there was someone else telling it with you. So that would have been the application of Aiden. Unfortunately, I never got to finish, even remotely finish the project. But in theory, it's really simple. You just grab any like AI model from the AI model database, set up your own GPT for at home. You can run your own server, and from that on out, you basically just train the already quite strong model. Like, you could imagine you can basically already take DeepSeek, which is a really good competitor with some caveats and drawbacks. But you could take DeepSeek and just feed the DeepSeek model with your personality, and then you'd get, over time, a really comprehensive AI with your personality. So that would have been the plan. And it's, again, not really hard. You can just start a server with GPT-4All and the DeepSeek model, give it some instructions. Then you only need voice recognition to send your voice commands to the AI. and then have just an AI subroutine where basically if you don't say anything, the AI will say stuff. And then you have your own, basically your own neurosummer. Of course, it's in detail a lot harder and a lot more complicated, but the basic premise is really easy. It's only the actually implementation that takes time and obviously a little bit of knowledge. Then again, once you have DeepSeek and GPT-4All in your basement, you can just use it to program the whole application. Basically, you can just ask it to how do I do this, and it will just tell you, and then from then on it's a self-running thing. So yeah, it won't be as good as Neurosummer because the snappiness and the like overall aesthetic and personality you will never have the same, obviously, and you will also never have something that is like really similar to it, because yeah, there is just the data sets you will be able to get will not match the data sets that Vettel has, for example. So there will always be a completely different AI at the end of the day. But you could do something similar to Neurosummer, definitely similar. Probably, if you want the response time like Neurosummer and the optimization, that's also a completely different thing that you need to account for. But that's with time you will be able to upgrade your rigs and stuff and be able to upgrade your AI yourself, and that would be a problem that you could fix in the future also. So if one wants to try, why not? I certainly wanted to try and will still try to try basically, but not at the moment. Not currently. Currently, there is not really the time to do that. But I do want to try to reach out to other content creators in the future. Maybe not. Well, maybe this year, depending on how things go. That's a. But I do think that I want to try to make some content with other people because it's fun. And I would like to try to like practice with different people to do some more like cooperative improv, basically. Like I really like improv basically, and I would love to get a little bit more practice with people. Also, I really like just hanging out with other people. Like if you have time to just chill and talk about stuff that could be interesting and maybe do some jokes for an audience, then that's all I really want at the end of the day. Okay, but I have been talking for a long time now. I didn't think I was gonna talk that long. I also, one more thing. I saw that I reached 30 followers, and I want to thank everyone who has been following me. And I know that there are VOD watchers, so also thanks to everyone watching the VOD. I see the views and I'm quite happy. So hello there. Congrats, thank you. But I will now stop yapping and start playing. That's the wrong button, I almost ended stream. So our plan for today is to finish with Ratchet Clank 1 and start playing Ratchet Clank 2. So we will be doing just that. We will try to, or we will beat Chairman Drag. And let's see how this will go. I also will try to adjust my screen a little bit because the sun is awfully shining against it. Maybe like this. Maybe like this. Nope. Good thing is I have a little mount basically where I can put the screen right in front of my face.
So, are you gonna buy some or what?
Doesn't really help, but I think yeah, this should be maybe like this. Okay, I think this is the optimal setup for now because I cannot really see anything otherwise. I also just grab a little, how are they called? Some in German they're called Mikrofaser. I think microfiber isn't the correct word because fiber usually, well, maybe fiber is potentially the right word. Alright, looks a lot better now. So yeah, we will fight now. This boss is a little more exhaustive when it comes to ammo. I hope we do not need to buy the Tesla claw because that would add a little bit of time to everything. I seem to remember that the Tesla claw is not too shabby when it comes to this enemy. But our arsenal, well, this is basically on this quick change is our complete arsenal. So yeah, hopefully this will be enough. And there is our enemy. And I will start with the Pyrocider, because I seem to remember that you actually can deal quite a lot of damage. But I don't remember if it's this version. Okay, no. It's not this version, because there is a version of the game where we can just completely obliterate Chairman Drag with the Pyrocider. But apparently it's the remake version on the PS4 or 3 that actually does this. So unfortunately no quick and easy fight. But not to worry, there should be no problem. Because our weapons in general are quite strong. Don't fall. We also have one gold weapon, which actually should deal massive amounts of damage. And therefore we should not be too worried. Oh, the mines are coming close. Alright, let's see. Do the Doom Buddies go for the mines? The Doom Buddies do go for the mines, so we don't want to do that right now. I only have 2 lives left. That is basically exactly 1 hit, which we want to try to avoid. So we will just throw our blaster at him. And it's unfortunate. That's really unfortunate. I did not see the second mine there. And we start again here. So we also lose all the ammo that we wasted on him earlier. Which means I will have to rebuy all the ammo every time. Which also means I will not waste like Pyrocyder ammo. I will, in case it might save our back later, I will buy the Pyrocyder, but I will just remove basically every non-useful item from the quick bar. And unfortunately these are the only items that are really useful. Other than the Tesla Claw, which we do not have, there are not really any items that make sense to buy. These are basically the only real weapons we have in our current, or in general in this game. Like the only other weapon, or the only 2 other weapons which we do not have and cannot buy, are the Tesla Claw, because the Tesla Claw has some reach and can actually be kind of useful. And yeah, other than that, we are kind of bound to this blaster and the Devastator. And the Devastator does not deal enough damage within the first few hits. So I will try to go for a strategy where I will drag so far that he will basically just have a little bit of life left. Or let's... well, because of the mines in the next area, I think I will have to go for the blaster again. I think the blaster is the weapon that we will need to go for. Like in general, it's just a really good weapon in this scenario, I think. This is, I think, the way this boss fight is intended to be at this stage in the game. Because later, obviously, if you have like the Rhino. The Rhino obviously does a lot of heavy lifting, if you have it. But it is not meant to be used in the first playthrough. There are many indicators that the Rhino is not at all meant to be bought in the first playthrough. Like, for example... I think there's cutscene. Yes.
So come to this. Once I step on this ignition switch, a countdown will commence. The end which signals the destruction of your pitiful world.
There must be another way to hold your people.
You think that's what this is about? Who do you think looted our last world? I did. This is about one thing and one thing only. Cash and lots of it. You see, I've been paid for every square inch of my new world. Once the inhabitants move in, I will begin polluting this world as well. Then the whole thing starts all over again. Brilliant.
Why, you evil little...
Save it, Clank. Stop that timer.
Power turn the countdown to power jump is the on button.
Yes, so Drake just started the countdown. Fortunately for us, the countdown is quite generous. And Drake will immediately try to get us with his little thingy. We can do a little grinding and get back to attacking him. I don't think we have any other choice than to use our blaster again. So we will be trying to go for blasting him away. I am out of ammo, which is not too much of a problem because we have the PDA. However, I do kind of want to... One thing I want to see is if I can... Yes. So these are enemies that he is going to throw against us. We can just take our nice upgraded suck cannon. We can also use the mines, so the great thing that I actually thought about upgrading the suck cannon to gold. This was not with the knowledge that this can happen. So I'm really glad I did it, because I was not aware that this was going to be a thing. And this is gonna help out majorly, to be honest. Because we can just go ahead, remove all of this, and roll everything. Well, the damage is neglectable, so we might go for a little rocket action here, before then needing to go back to the sub cannon, remove a little bit of the debris that is Let's go for just firing, and I think... Okay, it's over there. No, I did not want to do that. That was not my intention. That was also not my intention. This is getting a little gross for my taste. Let's do that again, I guess. Oh, never mind. I think that was the right decision to just not use the full capacity of the gun. And let's get back to throwing some rockets in this furnace. Alright, interesting. I'm unsure how to proceed from this because our blaster is now gone. Basically, we don't have any ammo for the blaster. Let's see what weapons we still have. So technically we could use the bomb glove, but I will actually, for the convenience, just go into the ammo buy and get ourselves some nice ammo. So we can get back into the game. Let's not get killed. Alright, so this is, if I don't make any major mistakes now, this should be going to be it. Where is he going? I don't think I've ever seen this attack before. Can't remember it. Am I meant to attack him while he's doing that? But I don't think I can. Or I might have been able to, but I did not think that it would be a good idea to do that. Oh no. That's not good. I can't see shit. Alright. And he's running again. I don't think that's a good idea. That was completely not great. Alright. Let's try to win this. I do not want to do all of this again, to be honest. No! God damn it! Look at his health bar! Unfortunate. You know what? I think it's time to do a little cheating. Because we don't actually need to lose all of our bolts. Well, you could argue that this is a game mechanic that exists in the game and is not in any way cheating. I let you decide how that how you want to see that, but I do not accept after such a absolutely mind-bogglingly close, stupid encounter. I do not accept losing all my money. That is not what I am going to do. I will not accept that. I will also just remove these guys, I think. There's like not a lot of stuff I really want to keep on the wheel. I also want to make it a little bit easier for me to just choose the stuff I need. So this should be a good setup. You're fine, go ahead, thank you. It's just so frustrating because there was literally no health left on him and I just got hit in such a stupid way. Really hurts. Because it was like so close. But he still got the hit in. Could you not? It's unfortunate that the overall responsiveness of the game is a little bit not so great. Like, the fighting in the later games is much more enjoyable because in this game you can't have the aim on the enemy all the time, because you have to, in order to move sideways, you have to look sideways, and you will have to move sideways a lot to evade attacks. So you just kind of have to wing the aim, basically. So it's really hard. The later games, from the second game on, strafing is introduced, and strafing really is a core game mechanic. Like, hands down, without strafing, the game is just awful to play at a lot of times. Alright, let's do this again. Check my health real quick. Looks fine. I also kind of don't know how they thought you were meant to fight the last turn of drag without the PDA, because the PDA is basically the only thing you can use to get ammo again, if I saw it correctly. Maybe if there's one more thing that might be... Okay, we already saw. We already saw. Oh no, don't tell me. Yeah, we need to watch this again, because obviously I saved and reloaded.
There must be another way to make a home for your people.
You think that's what this is about? Who do you think?
Well, I can use this time to comment on all this plot twist, basically. More or less plot twist. Because we already knew that Drag is kind of corrupt and going for money. And just the knowledge that he is responsible for polluting the home planet of his people for money. Kinda like... I really like the message, because this was in 2002. And yeah, basically pollution, bad, obviously. And he's just kind of an asshole, so you can comfortably just whack him for being an asshole capitalist. Which I really like. Like, the story is perfect 2000 storytelling. Alright, so let's see. I wanted to see if these guys... No, so there is literally no ammo case here. Once you are out of ammo, you are out of luck, basically. There is... Yeah, there's nothing. Like this... The mines don't drop anything. You basically have to have the... You have to have the PDA. Which... I personally... don't approve of. This is officially, in my opinion, bad game design. Which is fine, the rest of the game is okay. Like, the only other thing I really have to criticize is just not having the strafing, because it really kinda makes the game really hard to play from a shooter perspective. But yeah, you also, I am not doing great right now. I am doing bad, in fact. I also noticed that my controller is messed up, so I will quickly restart the controller in hopes that... Yes, okay, everything's fine again. I noticed that the controller decided to throw a little tantrum and just not take my stick input correctly, because sometimes apparently the controller recalibrates on the fly. So I will sometimes have stick drift, which I can just reset by just restarting the controller. This is one of the unfortunate side effects of having a remote controller. I don't know why it's only the remote controllers, but I've never really had the stick drift problem with cable controllers. I would almost assume that it's because they are losing connection for like a split second and then recalibrating. And if you are in that second, if you have the stick like moving in a direction, it takes this as a new 0 point. And yeah, it's not really great. Alright. Let's do this again. We will need to rebuy some ammo shortly. Alright, this stuff again. We will quickly buy the ammo.
Hi there, Fuzzball.
Which also means if you go into this fight with less than 8,000 bolts, I do not envy you. This is, again, really unfortunate. I accidentally opened the PDA again. I will not attempt to attack him while he's doing this, because this is really not a great moment to attack him. Okay, do your last stupid thing. One last run for our life. And hopefully eat my rockets. Okay. Let's do the safe thing. Buy another, like, 10 rockets.
I got some great bargains for you.
Go into the weapons. And let's not get ahead of ourselves. And just barrage him. Alright.
Ratchet? What's up? You know, this time I am thinking what you're thinking.
Yes, so we defeated Drag. Drag got stuck in this kind of flip mechanism, wherever someone would build this. And he tried to get out of it and kinda overshot and landed on his own new planet. Which we will, obviously, since it's currently not inhabited, there is property basically up there. People have bought the properties. But other than Chairman Drag, nobody's there. So we will return his favor of trying to blow up our home planet, and we will now blast him into oblivion.
This can't be good. Phew, that was close. Clank, you can pull us up now.
The servos in my arm appear to be broken.
Broken? As in fall to our deaths? Broken?
Yes.
That was close. Thanks.
My arm appears to be badly damaged.
You'll be all right. Hey, can. Where do you think you're going? We still need to fix that arm.
So yeah, that was Ratchet Clank 1. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you, TK. Yeah, it is basically my childhood game. I got this game for the PS2. If I remember correctly, because this obviously is now almost 20 years, 18 years ago. I got the game, I think, for my 11th birthday. And I had 3 games. I had about 3 games. When we got the PlayStation 2, we got SSX, like SSX 3. And my sisters got SingStar, which is a story for which is a story I can talk about for a long time. Good game, yeah. It has its, like I said, it has its like problems, but in general, it's a really good game. Like for the graphics are great for the PlayStation 2. The PlayStation 2 basically was the first game where you could actually do bigger worlds. So the world design is great in every level because they really used the PlayStation 2's capabilities. And for example, this level we see in background right now, it feels like an ocean, like an actual ocean where you can swim. And there were many firsts with the PlayStation 2, And Ratchet and Clank 2, I can't remember what Insomniac Games did before Ratchet and Clank. But I know this was basically the first time they, like, did this in general. Like, Ratchet and Clank is such a nice... Like, it kind of feels like it has the Nintendo polish without being from Nintendo. A lot of my favorite games were on PlayStation 2. Did have it, but I played them later on different consoles or PC. Yeah, some games on the original hardware. I personally prefer to play the games on the hardware they were meant to be played on. Different reasons for that, but mostly because I just like the feeling. And if you keep in mind that most of the games, obviously, that come for the consoles, usually the games are designed in a way that only playing on a console really makes sense. Which is why I prefer to play, for example, for example on Steam, there is the recommendation for controllers on some games, because some games are for controller design, basically. They have been designed with only the controller in mind, and keyboard and mouse is just an afterthought. So that too is one of the reasons I really like to play the games on original hardware. Oh, they made Spyro, that's my childhood game. Yeah, I also... No, not me. My grandma had Spyro for the GameCube. And I never really got into it. I think I... Wait. Whoops. Right, I have the Spyro Hero's Tale. I have it right here, actually. So... I will put Spyro on the list to play, actually. Not... Obviously, we will be going through Ratchet and Clank first. But... Where is my playlist? There. Because... Spyro. We can immediately after I go through every Ratchet and Clank game, we'll then immediately play Spyro. Because why not? I do have to get to there at some point, so if I plan it now, I don't have to plan it later. I played it on PlayStation 1. I didn't know that Spyro was on PlayStation 1 already.
Do you have a problem with unwanted hair? Is painful in your nether regions causing you undue embarrassment? Do you just stink? Then you need this, the Gadgetron Personal Hygienizer. Hi, I'm Steve McQuark. And this little baby can take care of any grooming that are just too much trouble for you to handle yourself. Allow me to demonstrate. Yeah. Oh, mommy.
Turn it off! Turn it off!
Yeah.
Congratulations. Now that Chairman Drex account has been closed, your Gadgetron's most valued customer. We've got new items available for you. Just check the new goodies menu on your pause screen.
Yeah, so, yeah, it was originally on PlayStation 1.
You can start a new game with all of your current weapons and bolts. You can also go back to your last save. Go ahead and pick one.
Could be true. I have... Maybe if it is a 2D game, because Oh, she's just talking, okay. I actually don't know how a 3D Spyro would work with just the D-pad, because PlayStation 1 only had the D-pad. But if they made it work in a way, or if it was a 2D game, probably.
You can also go back to your last save. Go ahead and pick one.
But I don't know how they would like implement the 3D portions. with a D-pad.
Congratulations.
It
Now
could
the
work,
German Drex
probably,
has been closed.
but it would
Your
be a lot
gadget trunks most
more clunky, I think.
We've got items
I wouldn't.
available for you.
I
Just
already
goodies menu on
back
your
then.
screen.
It was like Crash games, so it was like a snake level, or how to in German they are called Schlauchlevel, I think.
Go
Schlauch.
ahead and pick one.
Like it's a tube, basically a tube level, where you basically have one long corridor that you are just walking down.
Congratulations. Now
And
the German Drex
with that,
account is closed. Your gadget trunks
the
most
D-pad actually kind of works. I will. This robot is getting on my nerves. Start new game. I will.
If you'd like,
Yeah, I will just
you can
start the new game
all of your
already.
weapons and bolts.
Never
You can
mind. I
also
will
set
restart the
that
controller
save.
first.
Go.
I'll put it in a different save spot, so we have both options available. But yeah, the talking kind of interrupted my thoughts. So basically, the old way levels were designed before like Mario 64 set a precedent. It was always in the like, yeah, you go from point A to point B and then we put you in an elevator or a loading zone or something. The camera was like in Crash games, but the maps were more open, if I remember correctly. The maps. So what I would need to understand basically is how would they implement, because this is like you have a 2D, like this is a great 2D area basically, where the camera has been swapped again, just because I restarted the thingy. But I want to quickly show this. Basically, you have this very 2D environment, and if I only have the D-pad, I basically this kind of works. In order to turn the camera, I have to walk sideways, and the camera has to kind of work with me. So this would work with the D-pad. All of this kind of would work, but I could not, for example, look around to see where enemies are coming from. So basically, if I decide to, I want to go back a little bit, and then I want to go in this direction again, it's kinda awkward because the camera doesn't really work in this kind of environment. So back then, usually they made levels that were very fixed and the camera was very fixed. You were just able to do these things with a more constricted gameplay style, basically. So I see that a 3D version of Spyro would work on the PlayStation 1. But I really think that on PlayStation 2 it then would have had a better start if it was the same way. So yeah, I don't know like how that would be basically implemented. So I would need to see that for myself. Anyways, we have officially beaten Ratchet & Clank 1. I also forgot to change the category, which is now going to be Ratchet & Clank 2. Unfortunately, for the VOD viewers, this means they don't know when the Ratchet & Clank part starts. I think there is a way to fix that in the VOD, but I don't know that for a fact. Mm. Oh, right. There is a subtitle in the old Ratchet Clanks, because in Germany and I think in Europe in general, there was like Ratchet Clank 1, 2, 3, and in other countries, or at least in the USA, they at least had the subtitles of Going Commando and stuff. I was like 4 or 6 years old playing it, I think so. I don't remember much. Well, that's just basically childhood memories. That I might. You know what? I will take a quick look at Spyro PlayStation 1 and see if there is. Okay, there's actually. Oh, you know what they might have done? You know what might have worked? If they used like the L and R buttons to move the camera around. Like you don't have up and down, but it would have been possible to use the triggers, for example, to move the camera around. That's actually a thing that they could have done. Alright, but I am going to change the games now. And for that I need to move up a little bit. Oh, I don't think the PlayStation liked that. I forgot that you need to turn off the system. I haven't been swapping games a lot lately. But I think it's fine. Usually it just means there is an end of stream and the game, the system just stops. And technically, usually you will be able to just reinsert the disk and everything is fine. So there shouldn't be any problem with that. So let's just enter. Might be, yeah. I haven't, from the little gameplay I saw, I couldn't really grasp if there was actually camera implementation. I did see that the levels are kinda 2D, not really the tube level thingies. So I assume they somehow got the camera to work, and I assume that it's the way I proposed. Yeah, so the intro of Ratchet Clank 2, I think in the US version there is the subtitle, basically, that is also getting attached before exploding. But yeah, at least in Germany there's no subtitle, so it's just Ratchet Clank, which the lower part kinda looks like a 2, and it explodes. Also, they are self-referencing, and there's also a few more game references in this game for other games. And as you can see, Ratchet is playing Ratchet Clank 1. And if I remember correctly, I can technically go back to. Well, that's actually I will not spoil this, but there are things. I actually apparently have already been busy. I also noticed that the language is German, so I will not culture shock you with German Ratchet. Adjust screen is fine. Vibrations, whatever. Alright, let's do a new game. Actually, I don't know which of the old saves is which.
Tonight's heroes of the duo recently restored peace and order to our galaxy. Ratchet Clank. So, gentlemen, tell us about your latest incredible adventures.
Well, as you can imagine, we've been busy. After defeat, there were parades, press conferences, dress balls,
And the wiener roast at Al's.
Oh yeah, that. And then things started to slow down a bit. After that, well,
There was the grand opening at Louis Lube.
right. I think that was last week.
6 months ago.
We're still pretty busy in a more domestic sense.
Yesterday, I flushed out my radiator core.
I guess no one needs a hero right now.
Bottom, I found a man.
What the?
I'm Alfred from Switch, founder of the big company in the Bogan Galaxy. I'm sorry to ask you, but our entire galaxy is in a very precious situation. I have a request your sustenance on a mission of dire urgency. A mission of first world, a mission of political literature.
Did that make sense?
So you need me to go on a dangerous mission in another galaxy.
Indubitably. A few days ago, this top-secret biological experiment was stolen from our laboratory by this toothless criminal mastermind. And I knew we could get the experiment back.
Do it.
We will.
Frank, I have participated in animation special conversations. We're preparing your job and become megacorp. Plus, we deliver mega and there's the unrobotic suit.
Deal.
As you Ratchet, while trans over the galaxy will go training and conditioning, including martial arts, and you have survival skills, macrame, and origami. We use bipolar vector change track location to a flying master sector 7 in field regulation and retrieve perspective.
Sir, ready for launch.
Yeah, so we are on a secret mission.
Ratchet report. I'm on final approach coordinates 37 Alpha.
Good luck. I'm counting you.
Affirmative. Beginning radio silence.
Alright, so again, PlayStation 2 was the era where autosaving was not yet a thing people really knew about, so they are introducing the autosave feature again. My controller turned off again because it was inactive for a long time. I also noticed that there is no subtitles. And apparently there are in general no subtitles. Wait a second. Or is it on the special? No. Not on the sound, it's not on the camera. So I will be saving and see if I accidentally forgot to turn them on in the main screen. Because I do want, if there are subtitles available, I do want to have them. Because there are, first of all, some things that are not as easy to understand. But there are no subtitles in this. Okay. That's actually quite sad because the Abercrombie that basically his name is a play on Abercrombie and Fizzbidget. So he's named Abercrombie Fizzbidget, which is a mega corporation. And yeah, he uses lots of words that are almost the words that he wants to go for. But unfortunately, I can't really activate subtitles here. So, sorry to everyone who liked to see the subtitles. I don't have any to offer you in this playthrough. Unfortunately. However, we will proceed. There is no use.
Select weapons, hold triangle, and select an icon on the left analog stick.
Yeah, there is no use crying over spilled milk.
Circle, fire your sensor.
We will be immediately using the strafing feature because it is a really nice feature. So before strafing, we had to do this all the time. And now we can just do this, which is so much better. Like 50% of the time we used to evade, we weren't able to attack. And now we can just attack for free all the time, which is a massive improvement. So we will just take care of these enemies. We can do fun stuff like this. And in general, I think the movement of everything has sped up a little bit. We can also just push these guys out of the window. And there is a lot more stuff we can actually destroy in the general vicinity. We also have 4 lives again, which is fine. Because there's not really...
You're at full health, so you don't need it.
Yes, we do have the 4 lives again. And as you can see, the interface is a little different. Also, we already have 2000 bolts, if you have noticed that. That is... not because we will just be able to buy the Devastator or something from...
You've acquired nanotech. Your health has improved.
Yeah, it's not... It looks great. We also have our O2 mask from the start. It's not that great that we have 2000 bolts already, because this is not Ratchet Clank 1, obviously. You also notice the bolts are all kind of golden. So this is basically... Yeah, try using the gravity bomb. This is basically because in this galaxy inflation hit, and the balls, even though the balls look way more valuable, they actually are not as valuable. Alright, so this is the room where the experiment has been kidnapped. And we will take this now.
Whoa, no, hey, no, I'm just here to fix the transfer coil.
Try. Give my regards to Mega Core.
Yeah, so whoops, I almost got hit there because I kind of was distracted for a moment. Yeah, that didn't work out as well as we thought it would. And look at this. This is the perfect demonstration of what I meant when I said the controller kind of recalibrates with a dead stick. Because I'm not pressing anything right now. This is just the controller thinking to itself, let's just walk somewhere. So I do have sometimes to, I just have to turn the controller off and back on again, like a true IT specialist would do. But that is, yeah, this happens sometimes. And sometimes it even happens in a way, in a situation where I don't immediately realize that it happened. And it kind of throws off my whole gaming. So, yeah. Also, if you haven't noticed, this game has a paused quick access. So we don't need to pause the game anymore to use a good quick access.
I need your best to make me and coordinates.
Yeah, so our antagonist is already on the run. I really like that these things are put in between, because it kind of gives a sense of continuity. Like this has been happening right in this moment when we entered this little part of the ship that was at the same time as the bandit was flying away and talking through. I did not catch the English name.
You can aim your lancer more accurately by holding L1.
Yes. Oh no. But basically it kind of gives this sense of things happening simultaneously. So that's really nice that they added that. Alright, let's see what they have to... what they are throwing us right here right now. I will ignore that guy over there now. So you might have also noticed that we have a little progression bar on the health bar as well as on each weapon. This is basically experience. As we use weapons, our experience will grow and the weapons will evolve. So if you like a weapon, the game encourages you to keep using that weapon. Yeah, so the game encourages you to just use your favorite weapon.
Ratchet checking in, sir.
I didn't expect to hear from you again. So soon.
There was a slight problem. The thief escaped with the experiment, and I have no idea where he was headed.
Not to worry. I just received a mission which will lubricate the matter.
Do you have names for this quantum galaxy?
You bet, Mister. Galactic D-maps, 3D maps, cutouts to the stars, and their homes.
Sorry about that. That's my light. Could you share this?
I'm on my way.
Yeah. So our little bandit over there is trying to
For a map, press select or R3.
is trying to find their way through the galaxy, and we are on their trail. We can already buy a new weapon, which I think we will buy because it's actually not a bad weapon. And yeah, in this game there is no animation for new weapons. If you buy it, you just have it, and that's it. So the weapons are kind of, you can watch them here, and I think there is a Monsterpedia. We can actually look at the stats for monsters, and they do have actual implied like stats, like health-wise, for example. If the health bar is like this, basically this is the weakest enemy, and you can just whack him sideways with a sideways slash with the Omni Wrench, and they are dead. So this is basically one hit. And the toughness and armor also comes into play. I don't know what toughness exactly does. I think it's how they react to like knockback. I think toughness indicates that they do not easily get knocked back. And the armor obviously increases the health pool a little bit. So what the developers could have done is just go with health. And this would have been a little bit more obvious, because this enemy does not take 2 hits like you would assume from this, but the enemy takes either 3 hits or one jump attack, basically. So the armor can be a little bit confusing, especially because there seems to be a base armor in general anyways, which is not 0. And yeah, it can kind of be a little confusing to see the stats and get a grasp on what the enemy actually can take. So yeah, this is the overview for the weapons. I thought there is like a tutorial video, but there seems to be none. We can also look at cheats. We can get them by skill point trade, basically. We also can watch old movies. We also can, this time, see the actual early, like now we can actually see skill points from the start of the game instead of later after beating the game. And you can already kind of grasp what you need to do from the name. This is basically the only information you get, like nice ride and stuff. There's no specific planet to the skill point nice ride, and these are basically achievements. For example, Speed Demon, we need to do something that has to do with speed apparently on a planet named Barlow. So yeah, if you know what what is this planet? This planet is Uzla, and we are on the Megacorp outlet. This is, by the way, the map we are going to walk through. We don't have any optional routes here, actually. And there is a lot of stuff that we can get from here. So we will just be taking care of these guys. There's no need to waste our ammo if we don't need to. There's also going to be an enemy later on that I think we need to take care of with the wrench. Whoops, almost got hit there. Well, you see some of the Megacorp employees here fighting for their life in the swamp, and you might think, oh, let's help this guy, but if you get close to him, you can only sink him in the swamp. They will basically just, there are like 3 of those guys, I think, and you cannot help them. There is just no way to help them. They just die. They are here to die. Like this guy over there has a little problem with these little baggy guys, and we can go in here, but yeah, he just disintegrates, even if we can kind of save him. So yeah, the implication here is that he got eaten. Poor guy. But what can you do? This is a mega corporation. This is what you have to expect when you take the job. So yeah. This is the storytelling of this level, which I really like, that there are more NPCs now, kind of, and there's like more storytelling to the individual levels. But it's not too deep. It's just like nice things they added a little bit. I'm unsure what I saw over there. Yeah, what the heck? Oh, right. And in between, we actually got a level up for our health, and we now have 5 hits. So instead of needing to buy the nanotech from the old game, we just gradually get more health, which obviously is really nice, because it was kind of annoying to just die from 4 hits, like 3 hits actually. The 4th hit would have been your death. So it's really nice to just be able to upgrade your health.
Press triangle to interrupt messages. Pause and select options to disable them.
Yeah. So it's kind of nice to just be able to get some extra hits in early, because it was okay because of Ratchet Clank in Ratchet Clank 1 that everything does only do 1 damage anyways, no matter how big the attack was. It was kind of fine to have these little hits. But you will see soon enough that in this game we actually
Weapons are more effective when you're against strong enemies.
Obviously. Yeah, you will see soon enough that we can take more than 1 damage. Alright, so this is not really a boss. Like, this is a in-between boss, basically. I do quickly want to see... This is Oozler, so there should be... There. Prehistoric Rampage. I don't know what that means. And Smash and Grab. I think Smash and Grab means to just destroy everything on our way. And there is nothing else. So what I thought we needed to do was that we need to kill this enemy with our wrench. That's what I thought we need to do. But now I'm not so sure anymore. We also just got hit And yeah, okay. I will not. I don't want to actually kind of. Okay, that's kind of annoying. Okay, that guy's taken care of. I thought that we might need to kill him with the branch, so I tried that for a moment, but I don't think that's the thing we need to do, so I stopped. We will quickly take care of these guys because I am on 1 hit, and I kinda don't want to restart the level just because I messed up. Although there are continue points, I don't 100% remember what if that meant we will be starting from there, but I think that was the case. We will also get a new item. Yeah, so the gadgets.
Dynamo activates machinery. Press circle to use the dynamo to zap that activator.
The gadgets still have the old animations once you get them. And yeah, this is the dynamo. If I didn't catch the English name, yes, it's the dynamo. Basically, we can activate whatever devices that use the dynamo thingy. And the dynamo is basically a thing that, well, I can't quite remember if because in the later games you get a multi-tool, basically. And the dynamo kinda is the first implement of this multi-tool kind of thingy. And because you just activate environmental stuff, this is basically your context sensitive button that you usually get in games for lots of stuff. There is actually over there, you can kind of see a little area which kind of looks like this is the area, but it isn't. Like this over there is a area that is not marked on the map. And to get there, we actually need a specific weapon that we will get very late in the game. So yeah, I do like the random messages, the announcement messages that are sent through the level. Also the music that is playing in the background. So you might notice this looks a little bit familiar. In the last game, the Magna Boots, we were able to kind of go up stuff like that. And this is basically the foreshadowing that we will be getting the Magna Boots again. So we might want to return back to this point later in the game. But currently there's nothing we can do here, so we will just do this little parkour thingy and grab our reward.
Ratchet, come in. Are you there?
Copy, Mr. Fizzwidget.
Listen. I have some new information on our experiments wherewithal. The thief was identified at Megacorp's resort. Also, thugs have towed a moon-sized jamming into
Should I take it out?
Firmulus. It's disconfabulating our annual Gladiators broadcast. See for yourself.
Ask yourself, are you man enough, hero enough, insane enough to step into the ring with two of the fiercest warriors in the galaxy? If you answer yes, you're a big fat liar. But that's okay, because Mega Galactic Gladiators is your home for a special new event. First, survival of the fittest in our bio competition. Be there. It's Chain Blade. Unleash the other Gladiator contestants. Chain Blade has gone undefeated in 500 straight matches. But if the bio division doesn't do it for you, our robotics division will. Chase the adrenaline as contestants face off against our four-armed bandit, the B2 Brawler. No creature is a match for this machine. Watch tons of carbon dioxide for its prey. There's no concentration prize, because this boy's program to show no mercy. So what are you waiting for? Call them out and Chain Blade and Brawler in your living room. But put away the fine china. Mega View. Call your provider now.
Chain Blade, huh? Got the coordinates. Ratchet out.
Yeah, so we just got a new mission to infiltrate the Megacop games. I think they were the Megacop games.
To view missions still available, select.
Yes, so we did this part of the map. And we will be doing the other part as well, because without the stuff that we get in the other part, we can't really proceed. So we will just do that for now. And we will be introduced to another surface dweller on this planet, which actually will help us. Also, as you have noticed, you can actually fall into the swamp. You just can't stay in the swamp water, because you will sink. You have 3 jumps before the swamp will clan you, and you can otherwise just... I am losing health by the second. I definitely should use my weapons more. However, the game is fun enough to just whack everything with the wrench sometimes, so my default is just whacking everything with the wrench until it doesn't work anymore. But I might need to be a little bit more careful here, because I am losing a lot of health, and that's not great. It is kind of more easy. I mean, if we get the health upgrade, we get a full heal. A free full heal, so it's not too bad. I will just need to be a little bit more careful. I also don't know if we get more health experience by using the wrench. I don't believe so, but if someone knows or notices, please tell me. Because I am kind of curious now if that is the case, actually. So, yeah, we will be moving through this one a little. I think we can just go over here. Yeah. So we can basically skip the level at this point. However, there is actually not really a reason to skip the level. Because first of all, over there is a ton of bolts. And there is another reason to not skip the level. Whoopsie daisy. Or... no, wait, I think this isn't even a level skip. Because this is just some bolts. Never mind, you can't skip the level. I thought this was already the way to go. But that's not the case. This might be a little bit risky. I'm gonna try anyways. And I see. Okay. That's fine. We didn't really... Wait, is this the right way? This is the way we already did. We don't need to do that again. We will just do that again. It was fun to try out, but obviously it didn't work, so we will not try that again. But we do have the little advantage of... Wait, no, this is the way we already win. Now I'm completely confused. I was already thinking like, why are there no enemies? like why does the whole level not have enemies anymore? But that's because I already walked that way. I forgot that I need to go this way. Anyways, I fell into the swamp again, which is fine. We will just be walking our way, getting burped by these little sack creatures, whacking away at those crabs. Which, design-wise, these crabs look a lot like the crabs on Oxen that were a major pain in Ratchet Clank 1. So really satisfying to just whack them on the head and be done with them. I am not using any ammo, so we don't need to go for that ammo. I also have the feeling that if you die, the enemies get weaker. So that might be a little balancing thing they did, because some games have dynamic balancing, and that means basically they will the game does not have any selectable difficulty. So instead of selecting difficulty, the game will just go ahead and make... Why am I starting here again? The game will just make your experience a lot more enjoyable by making the enemies easier and fewer, for example. So I guess this is the game's way of making a dynamic difficulty, because we already killed those enemies before, and apparently if you kill those enemies before, there is just a lot less health for them. Because I was able to just whack the other enemies just once and they were done. And every other enemy, like the crab type enemies, they take two. But on our way here they only took one. So I guess the way this works is once you kill them, there will be a flag set for this enemy, for this level, as long as you are in the level. And if you have defeated them once, they will be weaker next time. Which is a great way to improve the difficulty for anyone who has trouble with the game, without kind of being in their face like, hehe, you are a bad player, you are going to get the easy mode now or something. It's more of a subtle, hey, we noticed you have died and we have decided to help you a little bit. Which is a nice thing to do. But if you know,
Welcome. If everyone could take this, we can proceed with today's demonstration. First, I'll need a volunteer. Anyone? Excellent. Your name, sir? Ratchet. And there you have it. The Mega Truck beam in action. Let's give it up for our volunteer. Sir, how about taking advantage of our special?
yeah, basically if you know that these mechanics exist to lower the difficulty in a game, and you might not want to notice, but you will notice that this is basically a thing many games do, and for good reason. It's for usually a player will not notice that the game has become more easy, so the player will think that they have defeated the game the proper way, while actually the game helped a little bit. So a nice little thing from the devs toolkit for making levels more enjoyable for the average player. Of course, if you know this, you kind of feel cheated whenever the game does this for you, and you can't do anything against it. But I don't mind it. I think it's a nice little thing that the game does for you to help you.
Thank you, sir. You won't be disappointed.
The tractor beam, small and medium-sized objects have glowing orange targets like these. Press circle to move those columns so you can scale the cliff.
Yeah, so we just got a little Megacorp item, and we will be grabbing a platinum bolt up here. We can use the platinum bolts similar to the gold bolts. I am dying here, okay. Anyways, we can use the platinum bolts like the gold bolts. Kind of. Because there is a different mechanic to this. But we still want to grab them, as always. And you will notice something once we will be able to use them. But we will be leaving this planet now because we have everything that we need. So we will leave. The star map of this solar system looks a little bit different. We will be going to the Magda Resort on Magda Nebula and find a way to the Sucks for Less jamming array. They are jamming the signal and we need to destroy it. And that's precisely why we needed the gadget, because we actually can't finish that mission if we don't have that gadget. And we need the a little bit of side plot while we approach Magda Nebula. Also, we are getting ambushed. I don't think they really explained it. This is a new ship gameplay that was not really the same in the game before. Like in Ratchet Clank 2, there was also, in Ratchet Clank 1, there was also ship fighting, but it was a lot different. We, for example, have a shield now. We still have rockets and stuff, but the way this ship handles is a lot better in my opinion. And the shields kind of can regenerate, so there is a lot better, like, what would you say? There's a lot more survivability to the planes, to the ship, and the maneuvering is also a lot more smooth. So yeah, quite the improvement actually, in my opinion. We also have a radar on the lower right that will usually tell us relative to our ship where the enemies are, but it's not always obvious, and if they are further away it's a little harder to see. We also have another wave of ships coming, which was kind of teasered. And currently there are two types of ships. These ones, and the blue ones and the green ones. The green ones almost never do this stuff. Like the blue ones kind of sit in front of you, orbiting you, and the green ones almost never do that. We are also getting Raritanium, which in the first game was actual rare material. And in this game it's just abundant in this little area. So, if you are wondering why Raritanium isn't that rare in this galaxy, basically in the previous galaxy, this Solana galaxy, the Raritanium was only on one planet, and that planet was so polluted. That planet where the Raritanium was so polluted that it actually was rare at this point, because you couldn't locate it, and Hoven had a little bit, but that was just like in Earth, so it was actually rare in this Solana galaxy. But here it's just abandoned, it's lying around everywhere. Alright, so I still haven't really used any weapons yet, and I will start to change that. Because over there are a few bomb boxes, which we will be exploding. Because there's an enemy behind that, which we then can actually attack before he really notices us. However, yeah, the Ninja Star took care of him. What's the English name for this weapon? It's the Chopper. So we have the Lancer, Gravity Bomb, and Chopper. And this game also supports gambling, so we will be gambling for quite a while, actually. Because gambling is actually really important here. We will just take care of these enemies quickly. No, wrong weapon, wrong weapon. I will also have to evade right after. That's the wrong evasion! Alright, anyways, this is the Magda Nebula Resort. We are here for the first time, have not fallen down the cliff. If you remember that we fell down a cliff, you must be referring to someone else that did fall off the cliff, not me. Because I do not fall off cliffs. That's a lie. I've never fallen off cliffs, and I will not do it again in the future. So what I accidentally did was accidentally destroy one of our Gamba machines, which is bad because we want to Gamba right now. Gamba is very important right now, so we will be doing that until we get a skill point. Because there is a skill point for Gamba. There's also the really high chance of us not getting anything, and I think there is the possibility of going bankrupt, but it's very unlikely because you will usually actually just farm bolts here. It is, however, quite time intensive. So I will be doing this for a few minutes, but we will hit a limit where I will just cut it, because it can take a long time. It is, at the end of the day, gambling. We are trying to get an achievement for getting the jackpot, but there's like not really any reason for us to stay forever. And as you can see, usually these machines just explode anyways. So we will be just whacking these machines until they explode and then move on. So if you have anything you want to do, like grab a drink or grab a snack, this is basically the moment where I would recommend doing that. The probability of the machines exploding is okay, never mind. The probability usually isn't that big, but I hope you haven't gotten up yet. There will be an opportunity later where you still again can just go and grab something to drink. But yeah, basically the gun bob time is basically just hanging around the same spot, hitting the machines over and over again to grab the achievement. I need to stop doing that. These enemies already, this level is not made to be played with the wrench alone.
You will automatically grab ledges if you jump up to them. To pull yourself up, press X. To drop down, press R1.
Yeah, so these ledges returned in this game. We are getting healed, and we are also having a dropship on the other side, which keeps spawning enemies until it runs out of enemies to spawn. So we will be just sitting here and removing them one by one, as they are also only spawned one by one. I think that should be it. Perfect. And we want to get up here because there is a platinum bolt up here, just hanging out a little bit off this side. Easy to miss if you don't know that it's here, and playing the game for the first time, maybe you don't know how to look for secrets and levels, so it can be a little hard to find for a first time player. Because I remember looking for that thing like multiple days back in the day, because YouTube wasn't a thing.
Jumping toward a wall and pressing X again as you hit it.
I can quite remember that YouTube was just beginning, and obviously content was still to be made. So
weapons more accurately. Press and hold.
Yeah, I know. So I don't want to use the big bomb on these enemies because there are our gamba machines again, so I will try to... You are annoying me. This camera is annoying me actually. So yeah, this is gonna be a gamba room again, so if you want to grab a drink or a snack. I will be gambling for now. And once you come back, the machines will probably still be here. We probably will still be destroying some machines before you get back, so yeah. This is the perfect time, basically. For everyone that is still listening, basically, while I do the Gamba machines, I actually, if I knew what the chances of each individual outcome of the machines would be, we are going for the bar, basically. And if we are actually able... Nice, we got one. So yeah, I will be gambling until the machines are all broken. But basically, if I knew the chances of the triple bar occurring, if I knew those chances, I would be able to determine how often you actually need to play to almost guarantee that you get the skill point. I am also not sure if the game actually kind of does like a counting, where the game just counts how many times you've played already. Because I would almost assume that the game does something similar, at least, where if you play it enough, the game just gives it to you. Because I don't think I have ever had a playthrough where I didn't get the triple bars within the first playthrough, basically. So there might be also that the addition that you will just be... Alright, well, also this game, instead of setting you, if you buy ammo, to 1 ammo, it just buys full ammo. So you just can A spam, or in this case X spam, through the whole shop and you can just buy full ammo. It's not as tedious as the first game, which I really appreciate. It's really, really, really nice to... Yeah, I really appreciate that you can make like a one-stop shop now for ammunition, which is really great. This arena fights, I really like to just whack everything again, because in this arena fights this actually kind of works again. If I don't just let myself get it, that is. There's also skill points for doing these arena fights with the wrench only. However, there are... First of all, there is a actual challenge, where the challenge itself disallows any weapons. And there is also the skill point of doing a certain arena fight with only wrench. Other than that, it also obviously conserves ammo. Even though there will not really be any ammo problems, I do prefer to just conserve ammo in general.
Ladies and gentlemen, the first and only winner of the Gladiator Games is this guy. You're now eligible for a
Yeah, so we are a champion now. We have earned the Electrolyzer, which is a hacking minigame, which I talked about in Ratchet Clank 1. And we can leave the arena anytime. However, there's also money to be made in these arenas, so we will be doing some challenges. First of all, the challenges are really fun. Hazard challenge, what's your step? So, yeah, these stage hazards, which are just in the way a little bit, they activate and will be a little bit in our way. Where? There. We have 5 rounds to deal with these enemies. And the commentator is really fun too. The comments he does are really great. There is also, again, the benefit of winning cash prizes. And if I'm not stupid, yeah, these arena fights are a lot of fun. And we can also get other stuff from just winning the arena fights. There is, I think one of them has a platinum bullet, if I remember correctly. And this is obviously the first installation of arena fights, and they have become a staple ever since to the series. I don't think there is even one game of Ratchet Clank after 2 that doesn't have an arena. And Ratchet Clank 4 is basically only the arena thingies in a little bit in a sense. Yes, so we can do Chainblade challenge now, and this is actually the enemy we need to hit with the wrench. So let's see if I can actually do this, because yeah, this guy takes a lot of damage, or not a lot of damage with the wrench, but there is a skill point that we obviously kind of want to try to get. But if I can't get it now, we will get it later. Because there are things we can get to make this fight easier with the wrench. And we will obviously go for that. Can basically just kind of button mash into him. This works quite well, and then we have to, yeah, just evade his knife attacks. Not really a challenge per se, just a little bit of good old boss fighting mechanics where technically you can attack him, but for our challenge purposes, he's invulnerable. So yeah, we got a skill point for that. And we got 4,000 votes, which is kind of nice. There's also a time challenge and the B2 Brawler. The B2 Brawler we will do right now, but this one I will not use the wrench. I actually we probably could, but I don't want to. This is actually an enemy which I just from my heart, from the bottom of my heart, do not think should be beaten with the wrench. It's time consuming, it does not gain you anything. I going from the arena again. That'll leave a mark, indeed. Let me quickly grab some ammo. because I think the Gravity Bomb is actually what we want to go for. Also, this guy is getting really close, so... I kind of have a feeling that my left trigger button is kind of broken. This is not good. Okay. Maybe we come back later to beat him. The weapons, the options we have for weapons aren't that great, so we will come back later. But this is the first time the game uses context-sensitive buttons instead of letting us equip the gadgets all the time. So thank you for that, dear developers. This is a great addition to the game. So I don't have to select the electrolyzer every time. This is a minigame where you have to watch basically every little blue dot and have to align the gates accordingly. And this was easy, obviously, but it gets much, much worse. It's like there's a point in the game where these things are no fun at all. And it will... Yeah, it's not fun later in the game, partially.
Hey, this would make a nice souvenir blank. Yeah! Hey!
You have no idea of evolving. Return to your galaxy immediately, or fate will happen to you. Or this will farewell.
Yeah, two professionals at work, as you can see. The bandit kind of pressing the wrong button and Ratchet kind of being distracted by the photos that came out of the machine. Really love the characters' personalities in this installation. But yeah, Ratchet saw that Clank is being kinda held captive, and we will now go try and save them.
If you want to earn lots of gold, visit the arena later for more battles.
Yes, so the arena will be a good source of bolts later on. But we also have this part of the resort still open. I also know that we can get a skill point from destroying everything that we can destroy here. However, we will not do it right now because it's time consuming to do it in the way we currently can. Like, there is a completely different way later on that we can use, which is so much easier that I will not waste my time doing it right now. We can do a little bit of backtracking, and I don't think it's a bad thing to just some of these levels backtrack to. We will go here a lot anyways because of the arena. So yeah, we are using this item now, the tractor beam. There is an inspector bot that we can put on different pads, so he will be useful a lot later. There are also these little pearls that we need to move around, and our inspector friend is coming right up. He also kind of wants to go through the facility, and we can use him to kind of instantly activate some of the stuff that's around here. We will take care of this guy really quick. I took a stray bullet from him because I still have not learned my lesson. I still just try to destroy everything with the branch. It's a really bad habit. Now this is a slingshot basically, and we need to adjust the slingshot for him to be slingshotted up there. There is not really anything else we can do here, and he jumps immediately down, which is fine. We don't need him up there. He has done his part. There are, if you need to still Gamba, there are still Gamba machines here, but we are done with Gamba. We have done our dual time with Gamba, and over there is an enemy, which I do not want to deal with. I will try to use my weaponry a lot more now, because I will have to eventually. I just kinda tend to, yeah, be an idiot and try to kill everything with my branch, because I'm kinda used to it. So let's see. We first of all we want everything in this room. Let's grab some boats. And let's grab this little ball again. We are on the time limit once we grab the ball, so we want to get through here as quick as possible. And interact with the door. So we are at the last part of this little route. We will quickly grab all of this stuff, and the slingshot mechanic will now be demonstrated in kind of a quote-unquote minigame, because we now have this slingshot and a ball, and we need to kinda get the right distance and the right angle to properly hit these floating spheres which keep up the barrier up there. So we need to aim them a little bit. The upper ones are a little bit more easy because you can just walk backwards, and the max range is already the range you want to be at. And that will give us this limousine. I think it's also called a limousine in English. However, correct me if I'm wrong. Bam! Hello Jay! Hello, welcome in. Let me give you a quick shout out. Jay is a bird VTuber, and he makes a great content. Best served cold she played. I see. Alright, and a proper one. So yeah, Jaybird is a lovely bird VTuber with a speakeasy atmosphere, so also really chill. So give him a little visit next time he's streaming. But hey, how are you doing? How is your Monday? Is the week going well? Did you get the signature on the apartment? I remember there was something today in this kind of manner. I'm good, warm. That's always great. Yep, I got the keys, perfect. Which means you will be able to stream in a few days properly, right?
For a map, press select or R3.
We will need to destroy these little transponders. And this is actually one little part of the game where we don't actually have a map, but a 3D view of the planet. So we will have to kind of map out ourselves how we want to traverse the terrain. But just having this 3D view of the planet is really cool, in my opinion. And they really did kind of... Because this is... Imagine like Mario Galaxy for the Wii, kind of the same deal. Not as elaborate as in Mario Galaxy, but still the same mechanic in the end. Oh yeah, I remember this. The idea was really cool of it. I mean, I can already stream where I'm at without problemos. That's perfect. That's great. So I assume you will just go with your regular schedule then, or are you just going to wing it whenever this week? Because I think I have a lot on my Twitter and Blue Sky feed, so it's kind of like I remember people have like delays in their schedules this week, but I don't remember which people because there are multiple. No, not this week. Too busy moving, and it's way too hot. I understand. Like, especially because of moving and just getting stuff to where it should be. Personally, I'm not someone with a lot of belongings. So moving for me would be like, okay, I have one room that I have to pack up, and that's it. Like, there's not really a lot I bring with me. But I assume that if you are a quote-unquote more normal person, you probably have a lot of stuff that you just need to pack and pack properly to carry with you. So understandable that it might take a longer time and needs to be done a little more proper than what I have. And the too warm part I also completely understand. I live in an apartment that cannot be properly ventilated. I have no windows, I have a balcony door, and if I want to like make a full-on blow-through basically for my home, I need to open my front door and go to the staircase, the central staircase, and open a window in the central staircase where everyone basically can close the window, and I have to have my front door open, so it's kind of weird because people are just gonna be walking by my door, seeing me here just playing, which yeah, kind of not the thing I want to want to do. Yeah, so I'm very happy that I have a climate control unit that is powerful enough to keep this little... Like, my apartment is basically an oven at this point, and I do close my windows for streaming. Basically, I completely close my room that I have. So, because outside, when it's like 6 p.m, there are still children playing out there. There's also, because there is like some quote-unquote community garden where people just hang out. I don't want to be talking the whole time and people hearing me. They probably wouldn't understand. Most people here don't speak English, but it would probably still be weird just hearing me talk to no one, basically. For them at least, for them it's like I'm talking to no one. Like, I know obviously that you are there listening to me, but my neighbors will probably not be very impressed by me just hearing my voice and thinking that I talk to myself in English or something, which yeah, not the vibe I want to give to my neighbors. And also, at a certain point, like at 10 p.m, which is gonna be in a minute, in 15 minutes, from 10 p.m. on, there is like an agreement with my neighbors that they don't play loud music and I don't have my window open while playing games, because apparently I didn't know that just my normal voice just like normal talking. It's actually quite audible in the neighbors' homes when they also have the windows open. And they are trying to sleep at 10, obviously. So yeah, they are trying to sleep and I don't want to disturb them, so 10 PM is the latest point where I would close my windows anyways. So yeah, the last few hours of the day I will just have my windows closed while I stream. And it can get really hot in here, especially because I am using 2 machines for streaming. I have the gaming machine, which even when I'm using the console like this, I still use the gaming machine because it's the only machine that can handle the input from the capture card I use. I don't know why Linux doesn't like capture cards at all, but if I use the same capture card, which is recognized by Linux, it can only display the full input if I stream it at 10 FPS, which I will not do. I still have a little bit of a problem with the general setup, where I will probably be able to solve it by using a new graphics card. So sometime in August I will buy a new graphics card, or late July, depending on how much money I will be spending at RioCon. But yeah, around the end of July, beginning of August, I will buy a new graphics card. Hope that fixes my problem. Graphics cards, depending on which you buy, is quite... Oh, cutscene.
Anywho, it appears the thief is now under the protection of thugs for less. But I may have found a way for you to insinuate their operation.
Is it dangerous?
No. Well, actually, yes, it is.
Good.
Take a look at this.
The wind, the sun, skin, the bugs in your teeth. We are the desert riders.
Before I became a rider, I didn't feel worse. I had low self-esteem, bad breath, and thick garments. But these guys name. They really do.
Yeah, I'm just here for the big sale. Oh yeah. I also make gloves for all the guys. So it's got what it takes. Use this temporary to enter the rolling hover-like in the galaxy. Win it, and become one of us. Desert Riders, the number one choice for us.
Desert Riders, all you megacorp bikes. So I just had to pull a few strings. Contract me as soon as you get more indignation. Fizz widget, out.
Yeah, so basically what I wanted to say is I have 2 machines running whenever I stream, even if I use the consoles, because Linux just doesn't like the graphic input, basically. I don't know if a new graphics card will fix that particular problem, but it will definitely fix another problem I have, where you will have probably noticed that the image of the stream, of the gameplay, will periodically just stop. And I really hope, because there is already the old gaming processor, the Linux machine already got an upgrade. When I upgraded my gaming machine, the Linux machine already got a really good upgrade, and it's still just, yeah, not working properly. So I really hope that a graphics card upgrade will fix that problem, because I don't think there's any RAM problem. I don't think that there's any. I've no reason to believe that there's any, because the graphics card that is currently inside the Linux machine is a 1060. So, from all the stuff that I think could be wrong, because DDR5 run should not have any problem with working with OBS. There's like no indication that it in any ways should do that. So I will upgrade the graphics card. It's like 300 bucks. It's fine. It's not that big of an investment. And I will just see what I can do to improve that in any capacity. We will be doing, because it is kind of getting late, we will be doing at least one of the roads. Maybe we'll be able to do both. And we will buy a new gun, which is the Seeker gun. And this gun is pretty OP because it basically, you just fire it and it seeks its targets out. It is massive later on. Like, well, this is a bad example because you are meant to use the gravity bomb on these guys. And we are getting an upgrade. This is the first upgrade in the game for us. We got the, what was it called now? The mini nuke. So we will be using that shortly. We also get another head upgrade, perfect. And we are now able to take 8 hits. However, in this game, other than in the game before, we are kind of not getting every hit equals 1 hit, but it's more of a damage system in this game. So we are still kind of not at 8 hits, but a little bit less in general. But we will probably take more hits, or will be able to take more hits than if we didn't have the upgrades. We are also on this planet, we will be struggling with some dinos. These dinos are really
Double tap triangle to switch between used.
Yes. These dinos are really strong. They are extremely tanky, and we can actually look into the Monsterpedia to get a little more info on them. These sour beasts are really tough on health. You can't really knock them back, and they do loads of damage. So they are actually pretty dangerous. They are the first really dangerous enemies that are non-boss enemies. Like, they will give you a lot of trouble. So we will try to deal with them accordingly. Like these little hounds don't really do anything. We also get a little bit of free weapon XP here because these guys kinda try to storm us, but they are not even remotely fast enough to reach us. There are 3 dinos now, and they are actually, as you have seen, they are also pretty fast, so dealing with them is not too easy. You have to be prepared for them, or they will deal damage. So yeah, cannot really recommend getting too close with these dinosaurs. They tend to deal a lot of damage. Other than that, the enemies are quite easy to deal with. We have another, first of all, we have a continue point, and we have another really game designy place where the game designers had a vision which we will execute. Never mind, the mini nuke decided to just not go where the thing was pointing, so we will just deal with the rest of these bandits. It is also, I didn't touch on that before, but it is also implied that the biker gang that we are currently on the way of meeting. First of all, the Thugs for Less are basically... Yeah, these guys in the biker gang are basically Thugs for Less, which are our antagonists, and basically a mercenary organization, and they are basically the main members of the biker gang, and it is implied from the characters that we meet in this biker gangs that they are at least a little bit more progressive when it comes to the classic image of what these biker dudes usually are depicted as, and the what you would expect from a manly biker. So really like it. It's kind of like in the first game, where you could notice that there is a little bit of more open-mindedness to some things, even though there is crude humor that nowadays you would say, well, maybe that is not that funny because it's sexist, or kind of sexist, or some people would say it's sexist, which back then was definitely just meant to be funny and not in any way sexist. So it's nice to see that both of these things, like open-mindedness and...
Excuse me. I think I just blew another vacuum tube.
Should I have a look?
My word! You young so fresh these days. Oh, don't feel bad. I guess I'm just old-fashioned about that sort of thing. Did you know that I've been with Gadgetron since the beginning?
So you sell these gadgets?
Darling. They sell themselves.
Yeah. So this is a vendor that if we have Ratchet Clank 1 on our same memory card, we get a nice little discount of 0 for all the weapons that we bought in the first game. I apparently had the Visibombs on another save file. So the Visibomb actually, which we didn't buy in our playthrough, was actually already bought in one of the playthroughs. The other weapons we will not get. They are... Well, the decoy glove is kind of okay, but we will not get the decoy glove right now. And the other weapons are... meh. The Rhino is obviously, again, a weapon that we will not be able to get in the first playthrough. But it's nice to... Yeah, I know. It's just nice to have these weapons on us for additional just having them. They are kind of weak in this game, but it's fine.
A helipad is required to cross this gap to find one on another planet.
Yes, I have noticed that. Apparently we cannot get through to the biker gang right now. I would have loved to show you the scene with the biker dude that is over there, because he is kind of... he tries to act tough, and maybe I can... no, okay. We will have to get Clank for this, but I really like the guy over there because he will act tough the first time we meet him, and then he will show that he actually is quite the softie. So I really like him. He's a really cool guy. But that will have to wait for later. I will not do that today because there is not enough time, I think, for doing everything. But we already have the route, so once we get back here, this elevator will be already at the lower position. So we will have easy access to him later on. We don't have to do everything again. Anyways, as I was saying, we will go to another planet to actually play this planet. Yeah, we have enough time to do everything, I guess. Or at least we might be able to, because we gotta grab Clank, and Clank is, I think, the first route we have to go anyways. So we will grab Clank and just do that. There's apparently on the start of this a little bit of goodies right behind our ship. So we will grab that. As you can see, this level is quite a little bit bigger. And I will have to... Yeah. Alright, this is the electrolyzer. And I think if we go... Yeah, I think we need to go the right route first. Or we should go the right route first. Basically, the lore of this city and why the enemies attack us. We just spill trash, and these are trash collecting robots or trash removing robots. Funny enough, this is more or less a robots only city, so I don't know why they have trash and just having these trash cans around. But all these robots are cleaning robots, and they clean organic matter. Again, don't know why robots need organic matter or why it is basically, yeah, why there needs to be cleaning robots for organic matter everywhere. But basically there are the scrubbing bots, which are the smaller ones, which just scrub the area and try to scrub you away because you're organic matter. And then there are the bigger robots, which basically are for hard to cleaning stains. So the laser that they are using to attack us, they have lasers, and this is basically because they are removing very obnoxious stains, which apparently we count as. We also take 2 damage, and I am currently on 1 damage. There's also our antagonist of Thugs for Less, who wants to say hi. He will be coming up later in the level. But yeah, this was quote-unquote foreshadowing. And we will just jump off this cliff here, because there is... Could you please? There's a platinum bolt here. There is really nice little nods to what is happening in the levels in this game. I really like it. There are so many lore implications, basically, in Ratchet Clank 2 per level, that it is kind of like Ratchet Clank 2 is probably my favorite of all the Ratchet Clank games. Precisely because it's such a lore heavy game with so many improvements. Like not even story. The story is like okay, it's a good story in my opinion, but the universe, how the universe is fleshed out, is basically what really gets me to like this installation. Like this guy again, he's just flying around, being annoying. And we just going in. This is a little arena-like type of thing. We will only activate one of the trash cans, because I don't want to deal with everything at the same time, especially while I am on 1 health. I'm not really into losing everything again. So we will just keep our distance, throw our Visibombs. No, not Visibombs, our... what were they called? The Seeker Gun. In my opinion, one of the best weapons, if not the best, the best weapon of the game. Can only recommend. Especially because it's just 5,000 bolts. Like, I already have 25,000. I can already buy the next weapon. And there's no reason to not pick it up. Alright, so this is the point where we meet this guy.
Greetings, morons. My employees did such a lot of job taking care of you. Thought I'd come in and myself. This is gonna hurt you.
Sorry about that. Anyways, this is another kind of boss fight, which we will take quick care of. The Seeker Gun does loads of damage and obviously is great at just whacking the enemy. We will be shortly changing to the Lancer and taking care of the rest. And we destroyed our friend's little helicopter while he's shouting for backup. What an idiot. Anyways, this is Clank's apartment from the infobot. And we can see a little Jak and Daxter homage, which is also an Insomniac game. So yeah, Jak and Daxter are canon in this universe, even if it's quote-unquote just on the Insomniac gaming pyramid. Take that, GameCube. And the gaming pyramid is...
Hey, my old swing shot and grind boots.
The gaming pyramid is worth 1,000 bolts, apparently. And yeah, Clank has a nice metal chair and metal sofa, and was apparently playing Jak and Daxter. We also got our old gear with the swing shot and the grind boots. There's also, for some reason, some kind of fridge, I guess, like a minibar, apparently. So this is this is going to be my impression of Jay. Good evening. Hello, welcome to the Speakeasy. May I take your orders? Enjoy your drinks and have fun. Apparently also Clank lifts. So if you didn't know, robots apparently lift. So this is a little apartment, kind of. It looks a lot less. I also don't know what this is supposed to be. I guess it's like a shower, because Clank showered in the thing infobot. So
Swing shot detected. Press and hold circle to shoot the swing shot. Use L1 for better aiming.
yeah, so this is the classic swing shot. Nothing new really. They did change the swinging type. Like before, this was a yellow two ball chain basically. Now it's a glowing green ball. There's also new types of interactive thingies, like this blue ball, where we just pull the... which is basically just a pull point. But with this, we are now able to go through... kind of go through everything again. I guess we would need to go here, which I will be doing now to get to the grind section. And we will be grinding a little bit, I guess. Because I think it's optional, but while the enemies are gone, because the enemies only are gone while we are in the level. So doing it later would mean that we need to defeat all the enemies again, which is kind of annoying to do if you have already done it once. It's like not really necessary. So we would just go here in, I think it took us 1 minute. And we will just be grinding this way down. It's basically a tutorial for the boots again. And we will be having a lot more interactions. Like, I don't think in the first game you were able to, or there were any stages where you had to use the swing shot in combination with the grind boots. Can't remember if there were any, but this is basically a tutorial for both of them to use them in tandem, and basically the heads up that there is more complex movement in the game.
Put it in the slot. The weapon you want modified. Put it in the slot. Oh, I get it. You make weapon modifications. I can take your little one with a few tweaks and turn it into a powerful piece of it. Look, hook you up or what? Can't hang around here all day.
Yeah, so this is where platinum bolts come into play. There are two types of modification, usually lock-on mod and a elemental mod. And there is no real reason to go for the lock-on mods. There really isn't, in my opinion. And some of the weapons mods don't really make sense, like the mini nuke. The acid mod is not really useful on the mini nuke, and the shock mod on the Lancer isn't really useful as well. So I will not be getting them, but the Seeker gun is actually pretty good with the elemental mod. We also now have this this little teleporter for just returning whenever. And we also have new weapons, I guess. Or we can grab a new weapon, I guess. And I will buy the mini turret because this is actually a really nice weapon. In addition to the weapons that we already have, the mini turrets can be just deployed and they will help us massively by killing enemies that, yeah, are just around. So we will not be attacked from behind partially. Like, they are not great at defending you. There is a much better weapon, quote unquote, that defends us. But yeah, I will just demonstrate. These mini turrets just go ham. You put them in a room, they take care of the enemies in the room. And if all of the enemies are on camera, that's the only caveat to these turrets. They can only attack what is on screen. And they have an ammo limit. And they tend to just spray and pray. So if an enemy moves a little too far left or right, it already can't hit him anymore and wastes ammo. Which is unfortunate, but it's fine. There are more payoffs than drawbacks, to be honest. So yeah, the electro mazes, the electrolyzer things, hacking minigames kind of start to become a little harder, basically. We are now playing a crane game to move our little box over here, because before that we wouldn't have been able to get up here. That's enough. I also have to restart my controller again. And we will just go down here, destroy these enemies before they destroy us. Easier said than done. Okay. I might need to change the batteries. I need to change the batteries. Are you doing this right now to me? Alright, I guess I need to change the battery real quickly. Which is the only drawback, probably, of the... or not the only drawback. There are many drawbacks to wireless controllers, but this is one of the drawbacks I really can't... Like, nowadays, it's just not really necessary anymore, in my opinion, to have these kind of drawbacks. But yeah, battery technology has not really improved over the years, in my opinion. Like, all the old batteries are still kind of not great, and the batteries that are quote-unquote good are still kind of not so great. So yeah, batteries could improve a lot still. Alright, let's see. Perfect. Alright. So apparently the power of the batteries were going out, which, yeah, we have taken care now. And I forgot that I am on low health. I am an idiot. Anyways, wasn't too bad. We weren't too far in, so it's fine. We will be there within seconds. Basically, we are already there. I don't need to move the block again, which is nice. And we will just... First of all, we'll edit the quick select. Because... First of all, I will clear the quick select. And then I will add the weapons I want to add. And... yeah, this is the weapon wheel I want. We will also ignore these enemies, they are not really important. We will get the Seeker gun to remove these boys. Over there is a new enemy, which is a little annoying. He's also a little stronger, so I will not give him the chance to actually attack. He does not really aim. He is meant to be a construction bot that basically fixes metal plates together. That's what he is meant to do, but he is also kinda over enthusiastic. He just fires his bolts that he is meant to fire into metal plates at us. So yeah, he is... wait, I need another weapon. This is not working out. He is a one-shot with the Seeker pistol, so we don't need to really deal with him, like, at all. And yeah, these guys, these small guys, basically you can just get with the mini turrets, and the other stuff is just go ahead and use the Seeker gun. Alright, so this is now getting a little harder, but also not really. In this level, the electrolyzer is actually not too hard yet, but it's still if you have to have your eyes everywhere. so it gets kind of hard to recognize. Oh yeah, right. The enemies actually interact with the laser once they notice that they get destroyed by the laser. They turn their lamp yellow and try to avoid the laser, and we actually can't get this guy. But this guy also forgets after a while that the laser is dangerous, so he comes back. So that's not too bad. We will quickly take care of this guy and then throw that down. And there is another platinum bolt that we can grab here, which requires us to move this container over here, drop it here, and I think the same thing goes on the other side as well. But this is a TNT block, which we will just be dropping here, and it will just explode. Blow out some walls, which, oh, if I remember correctly, we need this to be here to jump up there. And we also need to open the door, but that's fine, because the door is actually not that problematic. There's no real riddle here that we need to open the door. This will just explode and open the door for us. Also, I seem to have remembered wrong. There's just a thing there. But we can grab our platinum bolt now. And do I? Yes, I do. Okay, so we need to go back to the terminal to build ourselves a little ladder to get out of this little thingamabob. I don't actually know what you would call a room like this. Like what is this actually? What this is this a storage room? I guess it's a storage room, because why else would you need a crane? And this is just the last thing that is stored in the storage room. That's the only explanation I have for these rooms. I don't know what other kind of thing it could be. I am really, I don't know. I couldn't tell. There are enemies up here, which I forgot that they are here. Let's nuke them quickly. There are more enemies here. I do not like. Timeout. Timeout, guys. Alright. Okay. So these guys will deal with my little turret over there. Nothing that I will be needing to deal with, to be honest. And we are at the point where we will reunite with Clank.
Clank? Okay, Clank. Okay, Clank. Don't move. I'm coming down. Whoa! Son of a quark. All right, buddy. Let's get you up and running again.
Yeah, so the bandit has kind of helped us get down here. We will use the electrolyzer to save Clank. And I accidentally pressed the circle button and immediately failed the minigame. Which is fine, at the start it's not that big of a deal, but it does get annoying when you get to the later part and just... yeah, it's already kind of time consuming, even though it's just 10 seconds. But if you have to do this 10 seconds over and over again, just...
Final digit is...
Clank, can you hear me?
Ratchet, where are we? I must have dozed.
Don't sweat it. Let's just find a way out of here.
I believe that may offer our only way out.
Yeah, so the reason why we basically couldn't escape is a door is closed and
glide, then hold X while in mid.
yeah, basically we need to go into the old Clank mechanic, which is greatly improved upon in this game.
Hold triangle, and select a command.
And the reason why Clank is perceived as trash is because he's so tiny. He counts basically as metal trash. So the bots will attack us because they think we are metal trash. And we have a new bot.
Acquired to build bridges across gaps.
Oh, also we can let them salute. So if you are into that kind of stuff, the special bots will salute you. I don't think there's any more reason than they had 3 types of bots and wanted to fill up the top slot. So no other reason that I can think of. It is also nice to notice that instead of in the original game where these smaller bots were only able to where they were only able to spawn at their home point, in this version I think they can just spawn anywhere, which means we don't have to go back all the time, which is honestly a great relief. I really hope it was this version where that was the thing. Because I obviously don't want to give any false information, but it very much looks like it. Like, imagine if we had to run back all the time. It would definitely suck. These guys kind of having a problem over there. But they got around. And we need 2 bots to open this door, which we will just put in there. The rest of them come with us again. And we can open the door that Ratchet cannot go through.
Way to go, Clank! Nothing to it. Did great. Now, let's go get that experiment back.
Yeah, we have the helipad now, and I think
All missions completed on this planet. Search other planets for available missions.
yes. Thank you for confirming what I thought was in fact the thing.
To glide over gaps, press X to jump, press and hold X while in midair.
Yeah, there are no more missions here. I would at this point stop the level and or get to the end of the level and like go into the post gaming yaps and just chill a little and then go.
Clank also comes with a thruster pack has the same moves as the helipad, except it uses rocket propulsion. To select the thruster pack, go to the gadgets menu and select the icon.
Yeah. Usually I would go to the end of stream section, basically, at this point in time. But I really want to show you the biker gang. Because I really like the biker gang and the minigame that comes with them. So yeah, I will be showing that and then we will go to the post-game yaps. Because I really like the Desert Riders, they are really cool, in my opinion. Also, little nice environmental touch, this is an old Gadgetron facility. And in Universe, Megacorp has basically out-capitalismed Gadgetron. And yeah, Gadgetron is no more. But Where do I need to go? Right there. But yeah, I really love how this game just goes full into environmental storytelling. It is such a nice... Like, everywhere you go, there's kind of like an explanation to why things happen. It's such a great game, in my opinion. So, let's interact with this dude.
Hey, who let you in here? Get lost flatten your robot into hubcap.
Touch him. Plasma City.
Oh gosh, you didn't have to yell. Why did he yell?
Hey man.
I can hear you. La. Only little guy.
Sir, it is okay. We are your fellow riders.
So you understand my sensitivity?
Absolutely, sir. We just came here to race.
Well, you can borrow my bluebell. So long as you're gentle. She just made you pair.
Hang in there, my brother. He's in good hand.
Yeah, so he tried to act tough, but acting tough is not his true gusto. So yeah, he's actually a nice guy. He lets us borrow his ride to race because we don't have one. So really great guy, to be honest. And we will repair his ride, so we actually help him, and we are allowed to ride it for the races. Alright, easy controls. This is a very basic racing game. There are like 20 drivers. Yeah, I accidentally... how do I do this again? Alright, so first of all, I want to grab something here. There is a platinum bolt here that we will just take. And I'm unsure if we actually are still able to win the race, but I will try anyways. Because if you just power through, usually you will be able to just win the race anyways. Just need to not run into every wall you see, and you will be fine. This is there are two racetracks, if I remember correctly. There are two racetracks, and the racetracks can change up later on. Apparently my button refused to work. We are quite far back right now. We do get something for winning these races, so we do want to win them. There is also the incentive of just playing the races for bolts, which is also something we should do from time to time. However, the races are a little bit harder than the arena fights, in my opinion. This is basically, well, once the arena fights are all done, the arena fights, basically every challenge at the beginning gives a certain amount of bolts, which we will not be getting again. The returns diminish over time, so to speak. So we will want to, if we need more bolts in general, then we might need to go for the races again. And for some reason we got second. I thought this guy on the ramp was the first one. We win something from this, so I will try again. But as you have seen, there is basically a really tight window to win the race. You basically have to not do any mistakes really. And the platinum gold, to get the platinum gold, you just have to turn into that corner. You can immediately exit the race once you have the gold, because it saves. But yeah, if you want to go for the gold, you might want to do that just at the beginning of the race and just restart the race. It's probably the safest option overall. I kinda tried something out there. We are quite far ahead. You can also see on the radar on the top, on the race map, that we are quite far ahead right now. And there are 2 other racers that have been left behind a lot. But you see kind of the gist of every racer, like there's not really a coherent, like what would you say? Like there is rubber banding, obviously, as you can see. There is one racer that is just up our behind, which we will try to get away from as quickly as possible. But we are also starting to loop, or what would you say? In German you would say überrunden. I don't know, it's like taking over the last one as the first one. Don't know the word right now. And I obviously can't look it up right now, so you will have to live with that for now. We might look it up after the race, if I remember it. Which I might, if I keep talking about it. Because the race will end in a very short time. Yes, alright. First of all, I will ban this bot. And then I will look up. First of all, I will let you see the cutscene. And then I will...
Great racing, buddy. Take this helmet. No, you guys know Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Oh, come on, message from the boss. Attention, all employees. First of all, whatever slug brains been eating all the choo-choo in the break. Better quit stuffing his face. All right, turn those lights off. Feng Shui. Next, space rendezvous. Move. Listen up, knuckleheads. The Feltons is Sector 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you're no good with numbers, find somebody to help you. Lastly, the company this Sunday. Don't forget to bring your own juice this time. Hey, son! You just turned yourself right up. Don't worry. Boss only yells because he loves you. Yes, I do use the best. Did you see that broadcast? Not really. We should scope out that rendezvous point. Yes, we might intercept some stray transmissions.
Yes, so we got a little bit information from this guy. Because he's a nice guy, he wanted us to be informed about everything that's going on. So he showed us the quote-unquote top secret message from his boss and let us know that the rendezvous, the rendezvous point has been changed. So yeah, he helped us with getting further in our quest. But that will be enough Ratchet Clank for today. I will be going to the post-game yapping. I hope you enjoyed Ratchet Clank 2 so far. I, again, still really think that it's a really good game. Probably the best of all the Ratchet Clank games. But compared to 1, a 100% improvement. And if you were around for the boss fight with Chairman Drag, or for the last, for Ratchet Clank 1, I hope it wasn't too annoying that I died like 5 times to him or something. I also... I think the reloading the game so I don't have to... I mean, I would have if I died a few more times at that point. I would have needed to load the game anyways, because there would have been a limit on how many bolts I can use to buy ammo. And that would have not been fun to just needing to farm them again. So yeah, I hope what watchers will agree that that was a necessary action to take, to just load, so we can avoid the losses. But yeah, I basically since I've started the Ratchet Clank Monday, I kinda don't hate Mondays as much anymore. To be honest, it's a really cool thing that and I'm really glad that I can do it. That I can just put on Ratchet Clank on a Monday and stream it. It's such an awesome feeling. I hope you enjoy it as much as I do, because Ratchet Clank Monday will take a while. If we, like in Ratchet Clank 1, will take like 6 sessions per game. And if I open my notes real quick, let me check something real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So apparently there are 9 Ratchet Clank games, which means if there are 6 sessions each, we will have a full year of Mondays, if no Monday, basically. Like we have like 45 sessions, about 45 sessions that we will be playing Ratchet Clank. So we will have a full year's worth of Mondays where we will be playing Ratchet Clank, and I really hope that you have as much fun with it as I have. I think we will be doing a raid, as I always try to do. Let me quickly see who is online. Usually I, as well, today as well, I will have to do a raid and run, because I will have to quickly make some dinner. I still have to eat at least one more meal today, otherwise I would be going into a dangerous territory of not eating enough, which I, even though I am on a diet, do not want to do, because that's kind of not a great idea, to be honest. Let's see. Melia is online, I think. If I remember correctly, we haven't raided her before. Let me quickly look into my raid history. And Melia is indeed not been raided before. Is there anyone else we might want to raid? I don't think so. I think Melia is our best target. I hope she allows raids. I want to thank everyone who's been hanging out so far. And we will be using this raid message. If you are a VOD watcher, I have a proposition, because I would like to have some emotes, basically. And the only thing that is missing for me to get affiliate is to have 3, like I already have 1 day with 3 consecutive viewers. I need 3 more days basically with 3 consecutive viewers that are counted from Twitch. So if you are a VOD watcher and you have the time to attend my streams live, I would really, 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 I would be really thankful if you had the time to watch live. No pressure, but it would be so awesome to have the emotes. So if you have the time, I would really appreciate it. But again, no pressure. It's nothing I need. It's just something I would like to have because I have ideas. The emotes aren't going to look perfect, but I told myself I don't really want to start drawing again because drawing my PNG tuber was kind of a nightmare. But yeah, I would start drawing again for the emotes. I would draw the emotes, and I've said this before, but my plan is to obviously improve the general VTubing stuff. Like I now have my credit card, so I will invest into the Beam Boy. I will invest immediately after I got VTube Studio to run on Linux. That's basically the first thing I need to do. I also need the graphics card, obviously, so that's also a little hurdle. But yeah, that's gonna be the plan basically. And I want to thank everyone who's been watching live. Thanks Tikare, thanks Jay for being here today. And we will now raid Ounsmelia. She is a awesome. My internet is working really bad now. I hope that you can at least raid. If not, that's fine. I can do a solo raid. That's no problem. But yeah, we will be raiding Ounsmelia. She is a Possum Tooth Fairy apprentice, and she is currently pushing for partner. She's doing this for a while now. So if you're a watcher, I also would like you to support Ounsmelia if you can. But that's it for today. I will make dinner now and then go to sleep. So thank you for watching. I will see you on Friday, and good night.